talk to him.
It's Matt Chat, and we're answering your community questions. The first one coming from Savu7348. Do you think Damian Priest will cash in at WrestleMania? This came up a lot for a lot of people asking us, so thank you all for reaching out and submitting this. Maybe. Yeah. I kind of think yes. To be honest, I think Drew is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that is happening. I think he's going to dominate Seth, being all broken down from the tag team match the night before, and then on night 2, Seth, Drew go at it. Drew picks up the World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe it doesn't take a lot to take him out, but then I wonder if Damian will come down. There's a couple of things to do here. The Money in the Bank briefcase, it's done nothing, and Damian's done nothing with it. He did a little few attempts months and months ago, and then it just kind of went all in the background. They haven't done anything with it, no teases, and sometimes that usually means that they're gonna do the big surprise. Now, technically, he has until the Money in the Bank event in Toronto in order to cash it in. I'd be kind of curious if he does a Mania cash in and loses to Drew. So you end up having either Damian cashes in and makes it a triple threat. You could do that and Drew still wins, and then you could have Damian and Drew kind of spiral off and do their thing, give Seth some time off. Or does Damian cash in and lose, and then Drew just dominates everybody? Because Drew, I think, needs the world title. He needs to be dominant. Damian hasn't done anything with it, and I like Damian Priest. But then they could also do it and do some fun things where you have the Money in the Bank being cashed in at Money in the Bank, like a last minute thing where Damian's like, I gotta cash this thing in, and he does it at the final second. What do you think? Because for me, I still think yes, it's very likely Damian Priest cashes in. Nathan Rickhus says, what's your wrestling dream match and stipulation? So a dream match that we never got was Taker Sting. I still leave a hypothesis out. I still say it's very unlikely, but it's like a sliver of possibility potential. Sting is retired now. He's done. He had his farewell, AEW, all that stuff. Yay, he's done. He's already in the WWE Hall of Fame. This year, WrestleMania 40. I would love it just for a segment, a moment, to have The Undertaker come out to WrestleMania 40, and just as like just a fun segment, just a surprise. Taker's music hits, you get the full Undertaker entrance with his he's in gear and everything, and people are like, oh my god, The Undertaker is gonna have a match, this is crazy. And then he grabs the microphone and he's about to talk, and then Sting's music hits, and we get Sting coming down the ramp at Mania 40, and we have a stare down, and then it fades to black, and that's all we get. So you just get a WrestleMania moment out of Sting and Undertaker, because we never get the match. So that's like my favorite dream match thing to get. We never got that. Also, we never got Shawn Michaels Rock. That is something I'd just be more curious to see what they would have done, and what era of both of them would they play in. Dream stipulation? I don't really have one. No, actually I do. 3 Stages of Hell. That's what I want WWE to bring back, and 2K. But I want the 3 Stages of Hell. Austin, Triple H, 3 Stages of Hell. Such a fun match. You can just go anywhere with those stipulations. They really need to bring it back because it's a lot of fun. You ended it with a cage match, get a regular match, a no DQ, and then a cage to end it off like they did. And you can mess around with the stipulations. 3 Stages of Hell is my answer. Montaigne says, what would be your signature and finisher if you were a WWE star and your tag team partner? Most people would say you'd be LA Knight's dummy. Yeah, because of the resemblance of Mr. Knight. I understand that. I still get comments about this. It's still wild to me. So we still get comments about being LA. So LA Knight would be my tag team partner. Yeah. And then we would call them like the Knights or the Dummies or the Yeah Movement or something. And so I would have LA Knight as my tag team partner because it's fun. And then signatures and finishers, I take a Farouk Spinebuster as my signature, or an Arn Anderson Spinebuster. I like a Spinebuster. Farouk's, go Google that. Go watch Farouk delivering Spinebusters in like Attitude Era. The man is painful. He just like jacks them up, and he like slams. He doesn't go easy. He destroys people with that. So Farouk Spinebuster, and then finisher, I like a stunner. But I mean, I know Kevin Owens does a stunner, but I like a Stone Cold stunner. But no one does it better than Stone Cold. So if it's not that, I would do like, I do like AJ Styles' phenomenal forearm. It just kind of looks cool. A little springboard, just pow, it's an elbow, it won't hurt me. That's the big thing, is I don't want to get hurt. So I wouldn't be doing any 450s or anything like that. And then otherwise, I'm a Triple H guy, so I just would do a pedigree. I do a nice simple pedigree, but I would do like Triple H's like mid 2000s pedigree, where it's like he kicks and he kind of like moves like this, and then he goes and he gets him like way up in the air and slams him down. He did that one to Shawn Michaels. That's what I would do. Ventriloquon LP says, what is your favorite WrestleMania match of all time? Ooh, WrestleMania 17 is always in my heart. The TLC match is probably one of my most favorite matches. Favorite WrestleMania matches, it kind of is like, what do you feel like that day? Mania 17 TLC 3-way, phenomenal. I love it. I could watch it just over and over again because it's just crazy spots. I love that at 17, Austin Rock, up until like in retrospect, McMahon is very, very silly, but I really love that match. I love the build to that match. 18 having, or is it 19? 19 with Austin and Rock, and Austin's last match until the Kevin Owens one, but his last match against the Rock, it was special because you didn't know it in the moment that he was leaving. So that was really cool. And Shawn Taker 25, I rewatched that one recently and it's so good. Like, it's so good. So those are some of my favorites, I'll give you that. Dan Schuell says, or Schuell, I apologize. Dan says, what was your first wrestling game? I had Super WrestleMania 8 on Mega Drive, or Dennis says 8 characters, and it was brilliant for its time. The WrestleMania game on, well, it was in the arcade, like WrestleMania arcade. But then they brought it out, I thought, for like Super Nintendo. That was my earliest thing. I remember playing WrestleMania arcade in the arcade itself. I'm old. So I played it in the arcade. I do remember that as a little kid. So there's that. That was my first exposure to a wrestling game. Then I just got into it, and then it was like WWF, Warzone, and Attitude, and No Mercy, and Mania 2000, and off we go. Real MJP Music says, do you reckon they could patch in Samantha Irvin in GM mode? 2K question. No. I think GM mode specifically is probably set the way it is, excluding like minor bug fixes, because honestly, GM mode the way it is right now, it's running like super smooth. Could this be something that they could look at? Absolutely. Do I think they would patch that in? No, because you're swapping brands all the time. Like, not all the time, but you stick with your brand. But I don't think the system is built that way so that it can recognize. I think it's just easier and simpler if they're just like, here is one ring announcer and it's default for every brand you pick. Because then you get into the weeds of like, well, what about ECW? I know NXT has Alicia Taylor, but if you pick WCW, who do you pick there? I wish we could pick the ring announcers, but no, I don't see it something that they'll patch for GM mode. Josh in Texas says, do you see the tag titles being split back up soon? Who from both brands do you see being champs? I speculate, and I think I did this in a video recently. I think that at Mania, because we're having this tag turmoil match, which I think is a good idea, and it's a ladder match, that's going to be exciting to watch. I could see a couple of things happening. Do I want the tag titles to split? Yes. I want tag titles on Raw and SmackDown, and I want WWE tag champs, and I want World Tag Team Champions. Just do what they have done with the women's titles, the men's titles. Just keep all of the symmetry there. I'm so sick of blue and red belts that are weird looking and old. Like, it's so old and out of date. Refresh those titles, separate them. Raw and SmackDown, more emphasis on tag divisions. Plus, you have a lot of teams. You're doing this tournament at Mania. You clearly have a lot of tag teams to pull from. So I hope that they do. But one of the things I can see to get there is you have a silly situation at Mania where Miz and R-Truth win, but Damian Priest is involved too, and like Damian Priest pulls down one strap and R-Truth grabs the other strap kind of at the same time, and you grab a blue and you grab a red. So then it's like, well, who's the champ? And that results in them splitting the belts, and Miz and R-Truth get the win, and Truth acts funny because it's like he wins with Judgment Day kind of, so you can continue that a little bit. And you do something like that. Who would I like to see? I think you give it to Miz and Truth. Truth is awesome. I love R-Truth. I could see them putting it on DI if they don't split the belts or do anything. At Mania, like, I can see them putting it on DIY, trying to hit them up. They're heating them up a little bit more, but I want DIY's music to change. I don't like that. Ciampa's being too nice. He needs to be bad Ciampa. NXT Ciampa. So I see Ciampa, Miz and R-Truth. Catch Republic would be cool. Not right now, but they think they need it eventually. They could be a dominant team on SmackDown if they split the belts especially. So those are my picks for that. JD Hulko says, what do you think about Triple Threat at Mania? The Logan Paul, the Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, I almost said Randy Savage, Randy Orton match that they just announced on SmackDown. I think it's a great idea. It seemed like it was coming. I was curious what they were going to do with Kevin Owens, because it did feel like it was going to be Logan Paul versus Randy Orton. Now they're making a triple threat. So leading up to Mania, it's kind of fun because you're probably not going to get Logan Paul on TV every single week, but you get Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to anchor it. And Logan Paul can do vignettes and he can pop in and all this stuff. I really like Logan Paul right now as US champion. I didn't think I would. I don't really care for his other stuff, but in the world of wrestling, he's kind of working for me. So he's doing very good work. He's a great slimy heel. Doing his punch, it works. So I think it's a good idea to get all three of them in there. It's the RKO versus the Stunner. We're gonna see that combo. They did it to Austin Theory on SmackDown where they had him eat a Stunner into an RKO. And it was kind of botched, but like Theory messed up the timing. It's fine. But I can see Logan Paul, that happening to him, and he does a crazy spot like that. Somewhere where he's gonna eat a Stunner, eat an RKO. It's gonna happen at Mania. Maybe he jumps off the top rope. But I do think that I think at Mania though, between all three, I think Randy should get it. He's had his comeback. Man, it's ridiculously huge. He should be world champion. And I like Randy Orton a lot. But I do think that probably keep it on Logan Paul going after Mania. Get him to Backlash and drop it there to like Randy or Kevin Owens. I don't think either of them need it, but it'll be a fun story and like the deception between Owens and Randy as they go and them not getting along, which is what I think will happen in WrestleMania. They will mess it up for each other, and then Logan Paul's gonna walk out with the belt still. Worldwide Wrestling Fig says, what are your thoughts on the only women's matches at WrestleMania right now are for championships? So we've got Rhea versus Becky, and we got Bayley versus Io Sky right now, nothing else. The question mark is going to be tag titles. I hope that they do a tag team title match. So my answer is like, I think they need more. They got 2 nights of WrestleMania. You can get everybody on the card. They could do like an 8-minute, 10-minute women's tag team title match, a turmoil match similar to the men's. Make it a ladder match. Would be really, really fun. But give the women the tag team, like there's enough to do like a 4 corners tag team match for the women's tag titles. On top of it, Bianca Belair is a question mark for me. What are they going to do with her? I still think it's going to be something with Jade Cargill. My prediction is that it's going to be a last minute thing, and either Bianca is going to be in like a tag team match and going for the tag titles, and maybe Jade's going to be her partner, or Damage Control straight up against Bianca and a surprise partner, and it's going to be Jade, and they win the straps at Mania. And that way it protects Jade as well coming into the match. Or give me Bianca doing kind of like John Cena, do an open challenge. Bianca gets frustrated. I have no challengers for WrestleMania. I'm going to do an open, I'm undefeated at WrestleMania too. So have Bianca show up at WrestleMania, get in the ring and say, I'm here, I'm ready to take somebody on. Who's coming out? And then boom, you do Jade, and then have Jade beat her one-on-one at WrestleMania, solidify Jade as a superstar, and off you go. Chiefs Visual says, what are your biggest problem with 2K24? Well, I have no problems. I love it. Everything's amazing all the time. No, it's not. There's plenty of things. My biggest problem right now, I look at it more, so I'm playing on Xbox. I'm playing on my Series X. I don't have a lot of problems. Like in terms of glitches and bugs and that, I haven't had like any game crashes. I play the game fairly like clean, like I'm not doing anything to it. So I haven't had anything wild where I'm like, oh my God, this is totally broken. I really haven't, but I see and hear the problems. So kind of on the laundry list for me, like some things that have my biggest problem. I think universe mode doesn't have enough this year. I don't think it has enough separated from last year. So universe mode's probably my biggest problem and biggest disappointment. For things that I wanted, like really getting overhauled, like with promos, and they added a ton of cutscenes and they refreshed the cutscenes, but it's just missing something to modernize it. So my biggest problem with 2K24 is probably universe mode not getting enough love and attention and being pushed forward. And then it gets into the weeds of like updates we need. Of course, we need The Rock's new Hollywood remix. We need the Hollywood theme and entrance added ASAP. That has to happen. More serious things, I guess, are just like clean up the bugs, fixes the issues like that, lighting issues, referee counts, submissions, Side plates not showing up for people. Like, there's a lot of those things, DX, evolution themes, and the Fulltrons and packaging being added into the game. So there's things like that I think a lot of people are looking at. There's always gonna be a laundry list, and there's probably like 20 other things that I don't know about. And then people are like, actually, this happened, and this happened to me. I'm like, I bet. It's all bad. No, it's just, hopefully it gets addressed. Rizzo Shea says, do you think Rock versus Roman is a possibility in the future? Absolutely, that's what they're gonna build towards. So I totally think that Mania 40, you're gonna get, maybe The Rock turns on Roman at the end of 40, after Cody wins. And then it's like that. Cody gets this big shiny moment, and you do get like The Rock looking at Roman Reigns like, you failed us. I did everything, you failed us. And then it's gonna happen at Mania 41. I think that they could go to 41, even to 42. If The Rock is getting like a lot of money, like a lot of millions of dollars to do this, I think that you could do the tease at 40, 41 is the match where Rock wins, and then 42 is where Roman wins. And you kind of have a one-on-one, like one win, just like he did with John Cena. Because they were even, they did 2 matches, and him and John Cena both got a win. So there's no defined winner. And I think Roman and Rock could do the same thing. GNR Ryan 19 says, what was the first ever video you posted on this YouTube channel, including videos potentially now private? The catalog, the back private catalog. The first video I did, so when I started doing it, I actually did action figures and collectible unboxings. So I would do that, and I'd have the stand and my camera, and I think I was just using my iPhone. And then I would just do that. So I have figure reviews. I think it was like an X-Men unboxing for a set or something like that. That was like the first video, one of the first ones I did. So I did those, plus I was doing video game stuff. So those are like the initial videos I did. And then yeah, I've gone through and I have scrubbed a lot of bad content, and there's still terrible stuff on there and old stuff, and just like, yeah, just cleaned it up. But yeah, those are some of the first videos. Action figures, so it shows you where you start. Action figure unboxings and reviews, and talking about that stuff, which led then into talking about video games and movies and other things, which then led to just talking about WWE and then WWE 2K. See? It's bad. Bad idea. Lyle says, hey Matt, hi. This is my first Matt chat. Welcome. My question is, what do you think will happen after Mania with Cody, Rock, Reigns, etc.? Also, check out Murph's YouTube video on the subject if you haven't already. Murph's is amazing. Shout out to Murph's because he does amazing content. Mania, Cody, Rock, Reigns. I think Cody goes to SmackDown with the undisputed title. I think they do a draft so they can freshen up what heels are going to be going after Cody, because you got to give Cody the odds now. Cody's going to get that belt, then you can't make him boring. You got to keep him heated. You got to give him big monster heels that will attack him. Braun Breaker would be a cool one to kind of thrust in there even temporarily. See how Braun handles going up against Cody. Cody's great because he's versatile. Like, he can go up against monsters. He can go up against guys that are like his size. He can have a lot of different style matches, which I really like. So, and he can make it more believable. So he can go up against, like, get Gunther over, like, drop the IC title, get Gunther over to SmackDown, fight Cody for the undisputed title. I want to see that happen. Braun Breaker or somebody else, maybe Braun Strowman, he comes back, could take on Cody. Rock and Reigns, I think they disappear. I think they go away for several months and we don't hear about them until like SummerSlam. And not that they'll have a match at SummerSlam, but I think they will start getting Roman back on TV. And with the loss, it depends how he loses. If Roman now goes into a thing of like trying to find himself, he loses the bloodline, like he's on his own, maybe he has Paul Heyman and that's it. Maybe Roman's losing a little bit. Maybe he's not gonna have a lot more matches. So whoever he does fight, probably get the Cody rematch, but he might lose there too. And if he has a Cody rematch, maybe it's at SummerSlam. Here's a prediction. Roman versus Cody rematch at SummerSlam, and then you have The Rock interfere in the match, rock bottom to Roman Reigns, and that sets up their WrestleMania 41 match. There's my prediction. And they continue, Rock continues after that to do just the social media vignettes, because oh my gosh, they're hilarious. We'll end on this one from Generations Collide. Is there any confirmation on the 40 years of WrestleMania release date? I would like to buy it, but with no release date makes it hard. That is true. Also, do you think we'll get a Bad Bunny pack after? If you think it was a bad, give me a hell yeah or a dummy, yeah. Oh hell yeah, dummy, yeah. I think I don't like the Bad Bunny individual DLC. Do I think we're gonna get something like that again? Very possible. it depends what they do. I just don't know what they would do. We don't need a Post Malone, but Bad Bunny, they gave us the updated attire, but not even the updated music theme. So no, I don't think it was worth it. I think it was very, very pricey for what they did. Maybe they will dump those type of things, not do those, but put them into the Persona cards into my faction. That's kind of what I think they would do there, if anything. 40 Years of WrestleMania, the release date. So for the DLC, that specific 40 Years of WrestleMania pack, I have the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition too. There is no defined set release date for it. We're supposed to get the WrestleMania 40 arena with it, plus the WrestleMania models like Triple H, Macho King, Charlotte, a bunch of others. There is no set release date for that. Prediction in the summer, maybe early summer. So WrestleMania 40 arena, sometime in the summer. They haven't said when they're gonna do it. I think they released a screenshot of Triple H for that attire, but I thought we were gonna get it like day one, like on the Friday of the release for everybody. But we didn't get that, so I really don't know when it's coming out. I would kind of predict early summer is when they do it, kind of when there's a gap in the DLC. So when we have a larger gap between the DLC packs, maybe they drop it in there. Thank you all for dropping your questions for Matt Chat this week. Subscribe to the channel, drop more, check out the community tab when we do these every single week. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.